In the series of JavaScript operators, now is the time to know about comparison operators, which we use a lot in our programs. But in this video, I will be telling you some interesting facts about this comparison operator. So stay tuned with me till the end to know about these cool facts. So let's get started. Hey coders, this is Neha from Webstack. Welcome to the 9th episode of JavaScript series. So if you are new here, make sure you click that subscribe button, hit the bell so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. So as we all know, the basic comparison operators that comes to our mind is less than equals to, greater than equals to, double equals to, and not equals to symbols. So let's try and evaluate these symbols one by one. So I can simply either create a variable which stores a value and then compare it, or I can simply compare the values as well. So let me write some result variable here, which I will be printing for sure, and then I will be comparing some numbers. So let's say I want to compare 6 is greater than 4. Let's try to print this result here. I'll write console.log and then result. So if I save it, you can see it is giving me true. So one thing to note here, whenever you are comparing anything, whether you are using less than, greater than, equals to, double equals to, it will always give you the result in the Boolean format. So in this case, it is giving me true. So if I write here 4 greater than 4, so it's giving me false because 4 is not greater than 4, but it is actually equals to 4. So I can write here 4 greater than or equals to 4. So this is a symbol which includes or statement in between. So yes, it is equals to, and that is why it is giving me the result as true. Same is the case with the less than operator. If I write less than, so 2 is obviously less than, not equals to, but less than 4. So it is giving me true. If I write here 2 as well, so now it is not less than 2, but it is actually equals to it. That is why it is returning true. I can also just write not equals to, which will actually give me false because 2 is always equals to 2. And if you see here, if I write 5, now it will be returning me as true because now 5 is not equals to 2. So this is what we have learned so far in JavaScript comparison operators. But now we will be looking at some more interesting and cooler aspects of comparison operators. So now we'll try to compare true strings. So if I try to compare strings, let me say I have a result here. Let's say res, and then I want to compare actually two strings. Let's say the string is z and I want to compare it with small z. So the answer that it will return will be equal to either true or false. So let's check this out. And now you can see the result is actually true. Let me just comment this. And now you can see the result is true. That means this capital Z is actually less than small z, which is very true because small z sky value is something which is greater as compared to capital Z. So yes, case sensitivity do matters when you compare strings. Even if I write some bigger string here, let's say zing, and I write zing here as well, so it will compare it character by character. So it will compare the first character first, that is Z. So if my first letter in the first string is greater, that means the value or sky value is greater or less than this small z, it will return true. Otherwise, it will return it as false. So if I write here small z and I am comparing it like less than, so obviously it will give me false because this is exactly same as my another string. So it will actually match character by character, and we can also call it as the dictionary order. It will check the dictionary order, or you can say it will check the lexicographical order. Now let's see some interesting facts when we are comparing different types. So now we will be comparing different types in JavaScript. So I will simply write a console.log statement here, which will actually compare two different data types. So if I try to compare, let's say 1 or let's say 2, if I want to compare it like this, so whether this 2 is greater than 1, let's check the answer. It is giving me true. Interesting, right? And then we can go on and just check for another option here. Let's check it for, let's say 1, and then I will use double equals to 1, and if I press enter, it will give me true again. So what is happening out here? So whenever you are trying to compare different data types, it will actually convert every value to a numeric value. So it will convert your values of any data type to a numeric value, and then it will compare that. So here it is converting it into numeric 2, which is always greater than numeric 1. So here this one is a numeric value, a converted numeric value, which will be obviously equal to 1. So that is why it is also returning me true. Now let's check out some interesting fact here. If I try to compare this Boolean value equals to 0, so it will also return me true. So that simply means that all the data types are converted into numeric whenever you are comparing different data types with each other. So this false evaluates to 0 as numeric, and it is always equals to 0. Now let me tell you one funny result that this comparison operator gives us. So let's discuss that. Let's say I have a variable called a equals to 0, and I'm trying to print the value and of course the boolean value of a. So I want to convert it to boolean. Let me just comment this everything out. So you can see when I convert it to boolean, actually it is giving me false. And let's say I have another value called b equals to string 0, and when I try to print the boolean value of this, let's see what happens here. So that means this is a string and it will be converted into a boolean, and if you are having something inside this variable, it will always results out to true. But if I try to compare these two variables, let's say I'll just write here compare a and b. So I'll just compare it like this, a double equals to b. So you can see the value it is giving me as true, which is really very funny and strange, because two values in which one is true, another is false, and if I compare it, both are returning me true. So that means they are getting equated. But according to JavaScript program, it is a normal execution that is happening here. So an equality check will always convert your values using the numeric conversion. So obviously it will convert this the string thing into a numeric value, that is 0, and now this is also 0 and this is also 0. That is why it is equating to true. To avoid this kind of scenarios, you can simply use something called strict operators. So we can use here something called strict equality operator. So if I try to use the strict equality, it will never convert that value into numeric value, and it will give me the exact answer. So if I write here triple equals to, which is actually your strict equality operator, it will also check the data type, and now you can see the comparison of a and b is coming as false, because now it is comparing the 0, that is a numeric value, with actually a string which is 0. So it is actually comparing a number with a string, which will equate to false. So it is better to use the strict equalities with triple equals to operator, so that you also match the data type with the values. Now last but not the least, the behavior for undefined and null comparisons. It is quite strange as well. So if I try to compare null with undefined, so if I write console.log and I say null double equals to undefined, then you will simply say that yes, it will give me true, because we already know that double equals to operator will actually convert your data types into numeric values. So this null will actually be converted to 0 and your undefined will be converted to something called not a number. So actually it is returning me true. But what happens if I write here triple equals to? So if I write triple equals to and press save, it will certainly give me false. So this behavior is exactly same what we talked earlier. But now if you try to do this null with some another value and you want to compare undefined with some another value, then it will behave quite strange as compared to our previous results. So if I write null and I just compare it with this 0 and I press save, so it will give me false. But right now we have discussed that null is given as like numeric value 0, and with double equals to it should give me actually the true value, but it is not. So this is kind of strange things that come here with this comparison operator. But if I write here greater than equals to 0, so you can certainly see that it is returning a true value. So this basically means that null and undefined can be equated with this double equals to, but it will not be equated directly with anything else. So it will always give me false in that case. Similarly, if I try to do the same thing with undefined, it will give me the strange behavior as well. So if I write undefined equals to 0, so obviously it will give me false, and I try to write undefined less than equals to or less than 0, it will again give me false. This is because undefined only equals to null and nothing else. So you can say it doesn't really like 0, so it will always return false whenever you are trying to compare, no matter using any operator with 0, it will always give us false. So you must be aware of these concepts because this may come in your interviews or in your programming test or in class test as well. You must know about these abnormalities that is there inside the comparison operators. So here is a small brainer for you all. In this brainer, you have 7 statements and you need to find which statement will turn out to true or which statement will turn out to false. Please write your answers in the comment section below. That's all for this video, guys. If you like the video, please give us a thumbs up. Do subscribe and share with all your friends so that we could reach out to more and more people out there. So we'll see you in the next video.